Today I have the privilege of having a conversation with a man I have chased since I was checking my notes before this interview with Henry Asantuchun for about 14 months now. But he's a busy man. He's the head coach of the BlackStars, and today, having secured World Cup qualification for Ghana, a fifth time in the history of this country, he finally is able to make time for us and have a conversation, just to look back on everything that has happened since the return as BlackStars coach. Hi, Otto.
Hello.
Thank you for agreeing to speak to us. You're a hard man to find, but understandably, you've been busy. Right, let's get into the conversation and start with the World Cup qualification. Is this the proudest moment in your life as a coach?
First World Cup was a little bit more massive because we had really a short time. Preparation time.
Yeah.
For my ideas of how we want to play to sink into for the players. The conditions were not good. We had to play against Nigeria, Nigeria was also, I mean, like the players were massive also those days. And actually nobody, I mean, except my close circle, my fan club, my family, and friends believed in me. And so this was even more than this, to be honest.
Mm. But you've done it regardless, except it has not been smooth sailing. If we look back to the period you took over, you had a brilliant start to the World Cup qualifiers. But then we saw what happened in the AFCON qualifiers, 6 games without a win. What would you say accounted for that period and the failure to qualify for the AFCON?
Yes, a lot of things which came together, a lot of discussion off the field, but also no unity. And then everything comes together. And I think we learned out of it. I think also as a nation we learned that continuity is very important, also for an FA, but also for clubs. We have to really look deep inside, and I'm very happy that President Kotoko could make the decision to maintain me and to believe in me, to strengthen me. The management committee, the ex-co members, especially Nana Safo, they spoke out for me, and they had the belief we will turn things around, even though the AFCON was very bad. So I think a lot of people took a lot of learnings, and I personally was happy that they maintained, because I believe in myself, and I'm very happy that we could deliver.
2 things from the explanation that you just gave. The first one was about the fact that it was a learning process, and we all learned a lot from it. What was the biggest important lesson you picked from that period?
From that period, so I think the biggest learning was, to be honest, things off the pitch are sometimes even more important than on the pitch.
Really?
And if you can clarify a lot of things outside, it makes it much easier to go forward.
You also mentioned, and you thanked Ketekweku for his faith to stick with him. In that post-event assessment, what did you say to the GFA and Ketekweku that made them retain you?
Surely so as a coach, you don't only look at the results.
Yeah.
Even like when we just won 5-0 against Central African Republic, everybody was saying, oh, perfect, this, that. But surely as a coach, you also look at things where you could have improved or which you could have done better. Even though you scored 5, you see situations where you could have scored even 2, 3, 4 goals more. So this is the job as a coach. And the same is the other way around. So surely it was a disaster. The results were not good, and it shouldn't happen. But at the other end also, we talked about, okay, we were 4th in creating chances from all the teams. So from 48 teams, we were just behind Morocco, Egypt in creating chances. Just like we didn't use our chances, and we were not crucial enough. A thing which we surely worked also on in the training.
All right. Now, so following from that This small showing in the AFCON qualifiers, a number of things changed. The first thing was the backroom staff. We saw some additions to that. Talk us through the sort of value or improvements that these new additions obviously have brought to the team. One of the more noticeable changes is how the team is suddenly scoring goals from corner kicks. In the past, we used to be very susceptible to conceding from those situations. Now, I think we have scored 8 in the last 7 from set pieces.
Yeah, I think everybody's making a good job. Also, the assistant coaches, Desmond and Greg, and putting up really good set pieces. But it's also the deliver from the players, from Jordan, Ayew, from Kudus, and then the runs inside. Our central defenders are doing a very good job, and also the blockers. So it's everyone, first of all. And surely, to be honest, we were also a little bit unlucky in the other, or before they came, with headers which were heading to the post or to the crossbar. And so, but now everything comes together. I think we are really balanced. We have the faith, we believe in us, and then things also make it happen. And if you have positive outcomes, you really believe in that, and then you're ready to do more and do it again and again.
So clearly, you have shown that with more support, you can get more out of this current BlackStars team. There's been questions whether or not we can enhance the capacity of the backroom staff. For example, I don't understand how whenever we follow the BlackStars and for their recovery sessions, there are only about 2 or 3 physios who have to attend to 24, 25 players at that time. We're going to the World Cup. Is it your expectation that that kind of help, even if not in the way of physios, but some other technical supports that you need, that will make your work, that will lessen the burden on you?
So let's say like this. Surely, like at the last World Cup, we did the same. We discussed about all these things, and because we having a lot of games shortly after another. Now also in America with the distances between the cities, it will be even more difficult. So we will have this discussion, and it would be, I think, unfair for me to talk about it now. And we will have the discussion like we did in 2022. And surely, I think we will find very good solution for that.
One of the changes that you made after the AFCON qualifiers was the captaincy. Jordan Ayew became the captain. And since then, we have seen his best performing period in the national team. I think he's at overall around 20 goal contributions since you became BlackStars coach. In the World Cup qualifiers, he's produced 14 in 10 games alone. That is remarkable. What has changed about Jordan Ayew's game?
Actually, I can't really talk about it because I don't know how it was before. So since the day was good, I predominantly seen as a number 9. And I know that he's been playing also at the wing before. So it depends also on the opponent. But I think for me, he's a great leader. He has done really well. The most important thing is that we got clarity in the team, unity in the team, and this is what he's doing, and he's doing a good job with that. And like I said, it's not only about him; it's also the guys who are giving him the chance to score, but also scoring on his good assists, on good crosses, good corners. So it's a teamwork at the end, and I think I'm a strong believer that if the team shines, each and every one will shine as well.
Now, one other player who was a beneficiary of the changes you made was a very popular figure, Benjamin Asare. We know that he was in the national pool because I think you listed him in the provisional 48-man squad for the 2022 World Cup. And when you returned, you invited him for the World Cup qualifiers. Straight away, he became number 1. How did that happen?
He trained well. We had an extremely good week. We just had 3 days, and he was so good that I said, okay, for me, this is enough to give him a chance. And these kind of decisions are always on the edge because there are other goalkeepers who are also doing well and who also did well in the club side. And then sometimes it's just little margins, and we give him a chance. And I think he proved that he's is the number one, and he proved it, and I'm very, very happy for him.
There's been some strange criticisms of his performance. There are those who say, oh, he doesn't pass the ball well enough, and he doesn't look very confident at the back as a goalkeeper. Should we not be focusing on his shot-stopping abilities and the fact that, as has become very evident, clean sheets follows wherever he goes?
Yeah, it's normal that players will be criticized the same as I.
Yeah.
But I think we should really make it a sense. Like, I mean, there should be something at least. And if I don't think we conceded too many goals against us in the last games. And for me, to be honest, I don't understand this discussion, especially if the team did well and we qualified. Then I think it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the progress of the team going forward. It looked awkward, but after you secured qualification, the sports minister has been saying quite a bit about you. He called you lucky, even though there are those who have argued that the numbers do not correspond with what he has said. These public criticisms, does he share them with you privately, the sports minister?
So, for me, I'm far away to speak about somebody from our organization in public. If there's anything I want to tell him, then I will tell him privately because I have his number, he has my number. And this is how I keep it.
Right. Okay. Now, let's move the conversation on to the team itself and the possibility of what the team would look like at the World Cup. In the past 48 hours, there's been discussions about the possibility or the availability of two players who had the opportunity to represent this country, but chose other options. Eddie Nketiah, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Is there a chance that they represent Ghana at the World Cup?
So, I don't also like to talk about players who were not in the squad, especially. One thing is very, very clear. We will look at any option if it could be a good addition, but we look at every case singularly. So, if this player a committed player, if he's performing well, is he better than what we have at the moment? Yeah. So these are the questions we have to ask, and after that we decide. But I won't go particularly into this or that player.
Does it matter, without mentioning or considering the specific players, does it matter in this analysis or in these decisions that you will make that someone had the opportunity to play for us, maybe especially for players who the FA may have contacted in the past and they said no, but now for whatever reason they want to play, will that factor play on your mind and the FA?
On my mind, 100%, and I will decide it. So it's very, very important that he's committed. If we have contacted the player before and was not willing to play for us at the AFCON qualifiers or at previous tournaments or whatsoever, and now saying he's committed, even though maybe we called him and texted him, and it's going to be difficult, to be honest, because I think we as Ghanaians also have a pride for our country, and the same as if a player doesn't reply for the call-ups, it's not about the player who decide whenever he wants to come. Yeah. It should be on the FA and on the national teams to decide when we need you, that you are there.
Now, let's talk about the World Cup itself. I had a conversation with Kwesi Sibo, and he indicated that from everything he had experienced under you and the unity that he had seen in the brief period that he had been in camp, he's confident that the team can win the World Cup. What is the potential in this BlackStars team? So
first, I like the positivity that especially also him is showing. It's so good, positive thinking, to believe in our strengths. But surely me, I have to be realistic, and we have to take things step by step. And the number one aim, which is very, very important for us to survive the group stage. Once we enter into the knockout stage, I know that also everything can happen.
So what is the objective that you personally have set for yourself, that this is the mark I want to attain at the World Cup?
We want to go to the knockout stages, and then from there, like I said, for me, anything can happen. I can't say it's going to be a final, I can't say it's the quarter or semi or whatever, but we have to look individually because we don't know who we're facing. So it's difficult to say we will get here or there. You know, it depends also on our group, how strong is the group, and so on. Because at the moment, Ghana is not really ranked high. It's going to be difficult, but like I said, if we survive this group stage, from there, anything can happen.
It's an expanded World Cup now, 48 teams. Does that improve the chances of Ghana perhaps going farther than we previously have had?
Actually, not really. The more teams there are, the more difficult it gets. If there would be just 2 teams, then
you beat one, you win.
Yes. so it's just a calculation. Probability. The more teams there are, is the less you will get further. But like I said, it depends on so many things. And if we survive the group stage and we get into the knockout stage, one game, you have seen it, anything can happen.
Now, one of the things that we have read in the last 24 hours, the Member of Parliament for Brecum West introduced a rather interesting conversation. He is advocating for a quota system for players from the Ghana Premier League. And his argument is that whenever we go for major tournaments, be it AFCON or the World Cup, a maximum of, say, 18, sometimes at most 20, get to actually be involved in the tournaments, actually get playing time or minutes. His case is that with that in mind, we perhaps need to give room for some talents from the Ghana Premier League who could go there with their exposure, and then when they come back, rub off on their teammates and enhance the quality in the league. What do you think about that?
So in general, I don't think we should look about who's local and not local. Let's say next week somebody buys Prince Owusu for Mediama, then he's no more local. Within the week, you know, it's the same. You know, so we have to look about performance, and I know that everyone also wants us to have success. So we have to look at the best players, and the best players should come, whether they're local or non-local, they should come. The higher the quality of the group, the higher each one pushes each other.
Yeah.
So if somebody is there and there are some players who are not that good, for example, he will relax. He'll feel comfortable, and this is what we don't want.
Yeah.
We want the player to have a concurrence situation, to fight for their position in the team, in our national team, and then the quality will be, and then we can have success. And this is how it is in the club or club side, and this is how it should be also national level.
Right. You mentioned Prince Owusu. He is one player that has excited a lot of people in the Ghana Premier League, but purely from a coaching standpoint, what makes him stand out from his peers in the Ghana Premier League?
So for me, really what makes him stand out is his positioning, his vision also when he has the ball, but also the looks he takes before he gets the ball. He positions himself well, and he knows the next action already before he has the ball. So that makes me, for him, stand out. He understands the game. He has a very, very high game intelligence. Yeah. But also he's aggressive against the ball. So I was really, really impressed from what I saw when I observed him playing at Mediama. And I really, really liked how he integrated into the team, how he adapted, and how he progressed within days. And so I was happy for him that he could make his debut.
I'm going to ask specific questions about a few other players and have the conversation. Inaki Williams has been in the national team for 3 years. His quality is not in doubt. Yes, he struggles in the BlackStars, but immediately he goes back to Spain, it's like a completely different player. What is the issue with him?
So there are more issues, and sometimes it's not only about the guy who is making the run, it's also about those who can give the pass. Find him. Yeah. So we have to find better connection between him. He has to adapt better. I think also the players have to adapt more to him. And this is the key at the end. We have to to see how we can integrate him best. And me, I as a coach have to find a position for him to how to integrate as best. But him also, he has to stay easy, stay balanced. Yeah. Don't think about to make it too complicated. And if we all work to the same direction, I think he will benefit of it because the quality, like you said, is too high.
One of the new players you introduced into the team was Kwesi Sibo. And he seemed to speak very highly of you. He shared with me the conversation you had with him before he got his debut call-up. And he mentioned, I see you smiling, he mentioned the things that you liked about him and the things that you said he needed to improve on. What impression has he made since he actually got into the team?
Yeah, I mean, like, very good impressions. So I think he just trained 2 times with us, or maybe 1 time before he played. But these 2 trainings were so impressive that I said, okay, this guy is going to play. And the moment he landed, and I asked him if he's ready, and he told me I was born ready. I knew, okay, this guy is going to get, and he showed it on the pitch also. Yeah. He's very, very aggressive against the ball. He doesn't care who comes. And this is making it special. He has his heart at the right point, and he shows it out on the field. He gives everything, and I want to see.